Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Look at this. I am the only person in the Sky Dome here at the National Corvette Museum. So you guys know I'm here all the time since I'm only 90 miles away from the museum. And obviously this car was not here last time I was here, but also that 2009 concept Stingray was not here. But this video is all about this prototype here. I'm gonna show you everything about I can on this prototype car. Now, this was one of the cars that you saw with all of the camo on it, and this was built in 2008. It's amazing. There's just everything about this car is not up to production style. It's for testing. It's got the wrong lights. So when you see this stuff up close, you're gonna know that, hey, this was that car that we saw on the roads with camo on it, because it didn't have the right lights. Everybody was making assumption of what the lights were going to be like, the taillights were going to be like, the exhaust, all that good stuff. And of course, if this is the first time you're watching the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs up, and make sure you turn bell notifications on as well. All right, so let's check this car out. Absolutely awesome car, and we're gonna hit these headlights right up front, because these headlights were all talked about way too much back in the day when this car was completely camoed up and talked about, and people just didn't know what was going on, stuff like that. So you can see that they got some LED lights kind of in a downward L, and then individual lights for high beams, low beams, running lights, whatever the case may be. And then over here they have the side marker lamp, turn signal lamp, reflector, you know, again, stuff that they need for DOT. But now you can certainly see the outline of what we now know as the headlight on the car. Also up here into the front, now this is General Motors' car. This is on loan for them during the 25th anniversary NCM bash here at the National Corvette Museum down in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which you need to come here. Told you, it changes all the time. It's crazy. And then coming back to the car, we see the battery is up here. I've talked about the battery multiple times on different videos. And one thing that I've always noticed on these vehicles is they always have some type of battery shutoff switch right there. So that's not something you're gonna see on a production car. They do these on all these test vehicles, I'm sure for some type of safety, quick kill of the car, stuff like that. And if you look right here, you can see that this is a car that has the forward facing cameras integrated into the front bumper. Now, if they work, we don't know. The gentleman who drove this in here said the screen didn't come on when he drove it in here, just from, you know, outside the door into here. Can't drive this on the road. It's not eligible to be on the road. It's a test vehicle. Even tells you the battery shutoff is in the front. There's a little label there. You can see they've got a big kill switch right up there on that, and a big warning label there that the passenger airbag has been disabled. And then for whatever reason, they want you to press the traction disable after each start. So just again, this is a completely 100% test vehicle for powertrain, and they're not worrying about electronics or anything else like that, but they're certainly going to be safe. One interesting thing is, I know they do this a lot, is they put different roll cages in cars when they're doing powertrain testing. So it doesn't look like they use this one for high speed. They're simply just testing out the LT2 engine, which we now know it has. And coming back to the engine part of it, it's really, really interesting. Those pillars right there, those are actually real carbon fiber. Those aren't steel that they're using currently in the car, so that's pretty interesting. And if you look in there, we do not have red engine covers either. So pretty interesting fact that they really didn't put a whole lot of detail into appearance and letting it be seen, which is obvious they're not going to do it. But most importantly, it's kind of interesting that they have carbon fiber rails on there. Computer, that's not on the factory car. It'd be interesting to see if that glass is even 9 millimeters thick. Something, again, they're testing the engine on this car. They're not really worried about a lot of the other things, quietness, stuff like that. And the struts, I have to check out a new car. I think those look pretty standard, but I'll have to check another car and check that out. But really, really interesting stuff, seeing a car that we've seen so long being tested on the Milford Proving Grounds and whatnot, that it's actually came to light that you can see it in its flesh. So back here you see we've only got one tailpipe and it's coming out, the other one's cut off. And the purpose of this is because they have all sorts of testing things in there to develop the car with, to make sure that it passes emissions and other, I'm sure, many federal mandated things they have to do, make sure it gets the proper pressure, all that stuff. So it's kind of interesting. That's why you see these big long pipes on here. And you can also see on this car, which it may not go to production this way, but you can see the holes in the pivots of where the spoiler goes on. So we know, we've seen the low wing, the Z51 type style spoiler. We have not seen the high wing spoiler yet, but you can see that there's two holes there, there's two there, and then there's two more on the other side. So 4-post spoiler, regardless if you go Z51 or if you go high wing. But now it's kind of nice to see where those are at, and it's kind of interesting. And then we'll come back here to the tail lights of the car as well. Really, really interesting tail lights. Again, not for production. They just have them on there for federally mandated stuff, I would assume. And we can see that the tail lights are just reflectors, LED lights and stuff like that. And if you look right there, real close, it's interesting. I just saw that right there. That looks like a plug. All right, so as we know, this is a Milford proving ground. So, unfortunately, which I'm glad I'm not up there in the wintertime. Michigan's a great state. But these are the actual snow tires, Michelin Alpine snow tires. They're called the Pilot Alpine. I put my flashlight down there, so hopefully it zooms in and gets in there, but kind of interesting. And these tires are actually made in France. So these are an Alpine snow tire. Kind of interesting that they're sitting there doing that. So maybe Michelin will make a actual snow tire for this car. It's kind of interesting seeing some of the stuff on here. We still have a little bit of camo on there, which is kind of cool down there as well. And then looking at it here, we have some Velcro in here. So that was most likely used like to cover stuff up, so people, if it was out in the open, people couldn't get spy photos of it and stuff like that. Just kind of interesting. Those GT2 seats in there are really sweet. All sorts of wiring in this, all over the place. Wiring back there, no wireless charger, I would assume. They got the Stingray. They don't even have bows on there. That's interesting. If you look over there, they don't even have bows on any of this stuff too. So again, just development car, and it's designed for development, not for creature comforts. So also what's going on here, I told you that everything happens in the museum, it just changes. Tom Peters, who is the design chief for General Motors, is getting inducted into the Corvette Hall of Fame. So they brought in this Corvette concept car. Hey, look at those carbon ceramic brakes. It says Stingray on there. Isn't that amazing? This is an 09 concept, but if we look at it, it says Stingray on it. In 09, nobody was talking about Stingray. So it's kind of interesting that there's some hidden gems on here. Really, really interesting. Huge racing seats inside that car. Still front engine. But man, I tell you what, if you look at this car compared to a C8, pretty similar. A lot of similarities here. And then in closing out this video, we've got to show you this absolutely awesome clay model. So what we're told is this was developed back in 2014. Now, what was happening in 2014? The C7 was launched. They've told you now that the C8 has been revealed that they were developing this car right when the C7 was done being developed. And really, really interesting. This is for wind tunnel testing. Doesn't roll, the wheels don't move or anything like that. And it's really interesting. They got numbers here, 2000. Here, 80 that way. Not sure what those mean. This one's got an 8. But now if you look at it, there's all sorts of black marks on here. This is not somebody taking a Sharpie and doing this. This is what happens is they drop, and you can kind of see that there's little dots right there. They are sitting here and putting ink on here. Then they put this in the wind tunnel, and they see how aerodynamic this car is. So you can kind of see that they may have put some ink there and then started shaving that down based off of the wind tunnel testing, since it's not as bright as what it is there or there. We don't know that information, but looking at it, it's absolutely pretty sweet of a thing to look at. Look at the taillights. Interesting. All right, so there is some behind the scenes here at the National Corvette Museum. Now listen, I'm telling you, if you are buying a C8 Corvette, you need to come here. Every single time I come here, it changes. It's something different. There's a cool, exciting factor every time. And I'm literally getting chills right now thinking that I walked back there, I saw that concept Corvette car, and off camera, I was like, wait a second. I thought it was the Cadillac CN at first because they're very, very close. And it just was absolutely mind-boggling that that car was there. I was so excited to see it. And then also for the fact that just every time you come here is a huge experience. So if you're doing museum delivery, if you're buying a Corvette, make sure you do museum delivery, and you can pick up your car right here on Corvette Boulevard. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, first time you're watching the video, smash that subscribe button, turn bell notifications on, and leave a thumbs up. Have a great day. Drive safely.